Hello my beautiful friends, and welcome or maybe welcome back to Vicky Ross Wellness channel. I'm really happy to have you here today. And today is actually gonna be a little different from my usual content, which is healthy lifestyle related. Today we will be talking about business part of my life. And to be more precise, we will be talking about how to open a business company in Bali and actually do a business as a foreigners. Because as you know, me and my husband, we recently been to Bali, and yes, it is official, we are doing business over there. We currently reside in Florida, which is summer all year round, but it is getting really hot here during the summer months. And me and my husband, we had been looking for a second house for a while, and we decided that Bali might be just the right fit for us. And one of the reasons is when it's summer over here, it's winter over there, and winter over there, it's still really mild, 20 plus temperature, which is perfect, exactly what we've been looking for. And our recent trip to Bali, it was not just another travel destination. We actually went there to first check out how the process of the villa that we're building over there remotely is going, and second, just check out the area to make sure that this is where we want to build our next house. As I just mentioned, all the paperwork, including purchasing the land, finding the general contractor who's helping us with the building, and getting all the paperwork, it was all done remotely. I know some people might say, are you guys crazy? But those who don't risk, they don't drink champagne, right? To do a business in Bali, you need to have a KITAS. And to have a KITAS, you need to open a company, and vice versa. I don't know if it makes sense. I wanted to mention that we did open an investment company. If you guys planning to open a remodeling company or maybe a beauty company or something, I know that this actually might be a different process, because it does require to have a licenses to actually do the work. But for investors, you just open a company and you don't have to have any licenses, even though there's still some requirements which I will go and cover in more details later in this video. So KITAS. KITAS, or I think they already changed the name to KITAS. This is kind of like a green card in the United States. It does give you the permission to enter the country as many times as you want. And me and my husband, we personally applied for 2-year KITAS. So during those 2 years, we can travel back and forth as many times as we want. There are different types of KITAS. There is a work KITAS, retirement, spouse, and investment. And in this video, we will be covering the investment KITAS. And again, I just little disclosure, I'm not a notary, I'm not a professional, I'm just sharing my story and how we did it, and I hope you guys will find it helpful for yourself. As far as I know, there are 2 ways to apply for KITAS. One of the way is offshore, which means you are in your country and you applying for everything and sending all the documents online. This is what we did, this is our path. And there is also another way, doing it onshore. This is in case you are already in Indonesia or in Bali and you over there and there is a completely different process which I am not familiar with, so we're not going to be covering the onshore filing over here. In our situation, since we're so many hours of flight away from Bali, we had decided and find a person, a local person over there. In our situation, it is a general contractor, and he was the one who helped us to find the notary. So he kind of created all of the connections that we needed, even though we were not there at the time. So he gave us the contact of the notary, and she was sending us and leading us step by step. First, we had applied for the PMS. This is a company creation. So we had created a company, investment company in Indonesia. Since we are doing real estate, the first villa that we had decided to build over there, we already knew in advance that we're gonna sell it. It's not gonna be for ourselves, so we're just gonna flip it and make the money. So if you're planning to do a business in Indonesia, you need to know what type of business are you gonna be doing, how many partners you will be having, and also one important thing, to register your company. Even in our situation with the investment company, when we don't have to have an actual address, you still need to have a physical address, like your office, let's say, where you can register your company. Now, when you've done with the PMS part, with the part of creating the actual company, you can now move on to KITAS. KITAS, it's a KITAS, but they're gonna send it to you online, and you can use it, print it out at your home and use it for the first entry to Indonesia. I also wanted to mention one important requirement for obtaining an investment visa in Indonesia, and the requirement is the company's capital should have a minimum of 10 billion rupees in a capital investment. 10 billion rupees, it's about 645,000 US dollars. But the thing is, you don't have to have all those money in advance. You just need to show the government the flow of the money during those 2 years. Government regulations that are related to visas and immigration, they're constantly changing. Even when we've been applying, I remember our notary was saying, let's wait till the very last minute because everything might change, and so this way we can avoid extra time for doing the documentation. So whenever you're gonna go through the process, just make sure that you're getting up-to-date information. Maybe by the time you will be watching this video, the information that I'm giving in this video partially might be not valid. But the thing is, when you're gonna be opening the company, you will need to show to the government, to the immigration structures, that you actually physically had on your bank account. Yes, we already open bank accounts online as well, so everything is possible nowadays. Another requirement to open an investment company in Indonesia is that as the owner of the company, or if you're just a shareholder, you will need to show the immigration office that you actually put in the money over there. and the amount of money that we had put in was 1 billion rupiahs, Indonesian rupees. It's about $30,000 per person, so it was 30,000 for me and 30,000 for my husband, and our son, he just got his KITAS based on a family KITAS. I don't know if it makes sense. But since we purchased the land online, looks like everything is possible nowadays. So we opened the company online, we opened the bank account, and we purchased the land online as well. So since we purchased the land and we paid about $80,000 for the piece of land where we wanted to build the villa, we already had those money on our account. And once you have your e-KITAS, pack your luggage and you're welcome to come to Bali. But this is not the end. You only have the e-KITAS at the moment. Once we arrived to Bali, we've been there for 3 weeks, and we knew that we had to actually continue the process to get the actual KITAS, or ITAS, I guess this is how they call it today. We went to the notary. Actually, it was funny. We didn't go to the notary. They came to us to prepare all the documents, and they asked Roman, who was 3 years old at that time, can he sign the document? So Sergey, my husband, he took his hand with the pencil, and they put in some signatures on the papers. So it was kind of funny. Once we got to Bali, we knew that we will have to send our passports to the immigration and actually go to the immigration office so they can take the fingerprints together with a picture and put the actual KITAS in our passports. And this process usually takes 2-3 weeks, and sometimes by paying extra you can speed up the process. So we did this, and 2 weeks later we received our passports, and here it is. Now we are officially done with all the paperwork. So this is a new journey for us. As for the real estate investors, this is what we do here in Florida, and we just decided to go worldwide. And next time you will see us in Bali, it means that we actually flew there and sold the villa that we're currently building, because to sell the villa online process is not working in this way. You have to physically be present to sign all the documents. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you in the next one. Bye! Mwah.